Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Rector, respected guests, and dear fellows, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. I welcome you all to the closing ceremony of Second International Conference on Emerging Challenges for Organizations in Developing Economies. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce our Honorable Dean of Management Sciences, Dr. Farooq-e-Azam Cheema. He is a member of Human Resource Development Body, Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, UK. Besides having worked with frontline higher education institutions, Dr. Cheema has vast experience of corporate human resource management and human resource development consultancy. May I now request Dr. Cheema to please come to the podium and share a few words with us. Thank you.
We are proud of having conducted this international conference titled Emerging Challenges for Organizations in Developing Economies, colloquially called ECODE 18, in collaboration with the Higher Education Commission. Objective of this conference was to provide forum for initiating intellectual and professional discussion on the kinds of challenges faced by businesses in developing world and ways and means to addressing these challenges effectively. These challenges are of both kinds, prospective as well as retrospective. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is one of the examples of prospective challenges that offer mega opportunities to the businesses. Holding this conference and others like this is extension of the Management Sciences Department's existing services to the local businesses in the form of business management consultancy and project works the department remains engaged in. Deliberating on international issues through conferences and seminars, especially relating to the developing economies, is also in line with the Bahria University's vision that sees the university playing an effective role on international fronts. This conference effectively provided a platform to bring together researchers, academicians, and practitioners to exchange and share their experiences, new ideas, and latest research results relating to challenges faced by the organizations in developing world.
Before I invite Joe Apollo to please come, I would like to introduce him. He graduated from Faculty of Law of Catholic University of Lisbon. He proceeded to the Portuguese Lawyers Order and joined the Portuguese Minister of Foreign Affairs in 1988. He worked at the Inter-Ministerial Commission on Macau, responsible for negotiating exercises of the sovereignty over Macau to People's Republic of China. In addition, he has held various diplomatic positions at Portuguese Embassy in various countries. In July 2015, he was designated as Charge d'Affaires en Paix of the Portuguese Embassy in Islamabad. I request, sir, to please come onto the podium and share a few words with us.
I would like also to greet all the authorities present, besides here, and including the rector of the university, the board of directors, professors, and students. I would like to thank very much for inviting me, and also it is an honor to be here. Nowadays, universities are centers of thought, reflection, and wisdom. We should appreciate their work and their contribution to society. Bahria University has as well, already established some cooperation with Portugal and Portuguese universities. I remember having met here a Portuguese professor from the University of Aveiro in Portugal on the occasion of a seminar on IT. Then I remember him telling me of his appreciation for the excellence of Pakistani students. In this respect, Portugal, like Brazil, for example, tends not to be a multicultural society, but an integrated society where there are no isolated groups and everyone is entitled to hold its traditions, cultural ways, and develop one's own personality. Concluding, I would say that each independent country has its reasons to exist and persist, due to its history, cultural, and strong social links. Nevertheless, the will of independence and the choice of a way forward are something that we have to renew every day, balancing the odds and being realistic about the circumstances, national or international, surrounding us. At the same time, it's of the utmost importance not to abdicate from the higher principles that rule our way of being and our behavior in the world. That is what keeps us respected as well as ensures our national cohesion. That is true to Portugal as to Pakistan.
To call Dr. Kevin, who is a school psychologist serving at Ohio's largest school psychology preparation program. Formerly, he was a special education classroom teacher and administrator and a school counselor. At Kent State University, he provides instructions in early childhood school psychology. Dr. Kevin has been involved in federally funded training of interdisciplinary leadership personnel working with toddlers, infants, newborns for more than 25 years. He has authored 10 books and over 100 published research articles and chapters. He is the editor of School Psychology International Journal. Dr. Kevin, you're requested to please share your valuable feedback with us.
I'm calling my remarks on becoming an entrepreneurial university. Greetings to the dignitaries on this dais, particularly our chief guest, minister, diplomats, university high administrators, patrons, conveners, and the organizers who have done such a wonderful job. Thank you. A special thanks to the Board of Management of Bahria University for hosting this important gathering, and most of all, my gratitude for the close attention paid by our attending students. Let's never forget that our reason for being is the students who are present today. I'm grateful for the opportunity to offer these remarks, and I will focus my remarks on this two-day conference as it draws to a close and address the need to reflect on some of the central messages. I set for myself the goal of seeking out primary principles, better described as higher order thinking, from the 53 presentations. Now that's not an easy task, not least of all because I couldn't be at all of the presentations, only yet being able to be in one place at one time. So consequently, whilst I couldn't attend all of the presentations, I tried to do a needs assessment and an evaluation of the content. I believe that the common concern addressed during this entire conference is the inextricable relationship between funding access and the development of solutions. If this is true, it means that I must focus on macroeconomics, particularly the current economic vulnerability of Pakistan. However painful that it feels to unravel what easily, in fact, feels very uncomfortable, I believe I have an obligation. We've heard uplifting stories about how to address organizational challenges experienced in developing economies, as wide-ranging as rethinking of the identity of universities, the efficiencies that result from the implementation of technology, the lessons learned from existing infrastructure development plans, such as CPEC, the obligations for demonstrating better care towards citizens while responsibly implementing innovative entrepreneurship, all of those, plus additional themes offered within the plenary sessions. We've had the opportunity to reflect upon the financial obligations and obstacles experienced in cash and non-cash economies in the developing world, to contemplate case study scenarios involving microfinance, the support of women-owned businesses, and the implications of having a population described yesterday by the regional director of the World Bank as a financially naive citizenry. This overriding relationship between finance and the quality and sufficiency of services was highlighted well in that important keynote presentation by Pachamathu Ilango, Regional World Bank Director. Data don't lie. And in his data-rich presentation, there is a need for me to reprise some of his commentary and note that he accurately predicted in his opening comments most of the problems and the solutions that were identified by presenters throughout yesterday and today. Let me begin by recalling through illustration how he, the director of the World Bank, characterized the current situation for organizational development within Pakistan. Using his data from the World Bank 2018 report for Pakistan, we learned that despite the moderate acceleration of growth for Pakistan over the past decade, this growth has been funded largely by other people's money. That is, the advances seen in infrastructure have been paid for by government borrowing from the sovereign funds of Saudi Arabia, the People's Republic of China, and the IMF, among others. Bear with me, please, because I feel a need to address this macroeconomic approach because it does have a relationship to the message that I bring in my summary comments. Director Ilango, with wry humor, mentioned that Pakistan's economic glory days of the 1990s, his words, not mine, are now long past and have been replaced by economic indicators, all of which suggest that a crisis is brewing, if not actually already begun. He even alluded to the meltdown of the economy in his native Sri Lanka and what happened when that nation had to give up valuable land and its primary port to China when it could not pay its bills. He provided data supplemented by complex analyses separately available at the World Bank website, suggesting that Pakistan approaches near-term economic meltdown due to building inflation, a growing balance of payments deficit, almost non-existent personal savings by citizens, shrinkage of the hard currency reserves, and the most immediately worrying issue, the debt repayment obligations imminently due to world lenders in early 2019.
This event wouldn't have been possible without constant support, guidance, and key involvement of our Honorable Rector, Vice Admiral Retired Mohammad Shafiq. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to request our worthy Rector to please share a few words with us. Thank you.
His Excellency, Head of Mission, Portuguese Embassy, respected national and international speakers, distinguished guests, faculty members, dear students, Assalamu alaikum. It's indeed a matter of unique privilege for me to express my profound gratitude to all the respected participants of this conference, particularly for making this event a success. A success not only because we had a good number of participants and delegates from within and outside Pakistan, and that we had very interesting sessions and talks, but because we have been able to discuss and highlight important challenges faced by developing economies from various perspectives. And to a large extent, I must say that we are able to recommend measures to overcome the identified challenges. I am certainly intellectually stimulating for me to spend some time with our friends from institutions of high repute who shared their valuable views and expertise. Indeed, you provided us an exceptional framework for our detailed discussions on all the themes. I must admit that the conference proved to be a great learning experience for all of us, particularly for our students, as it stormed our minds by multitudes of ideas, solutions, statistics, interpretations, visions. Thus, I must say that it's consolidated our perspectives. Ladies and gentlemen, recent times have witnessed multiple economic turmoils at the global level, and our country has been no exception. Nations once thriving are seen in financial difficulties and consequently deploying strategies to turn the tides in their favor. All in all, the public in general is at the epicenter of overwhelming economic hardships. This has led to the complex business problems, and here we have strived to attend some of these through the lens of carefully selected sub-themes, such as financial obstacles to development, management of diversified workforce, contemporary business practices, technology and associated issues, social challenges for businesses in developing economies, changing economic environment in our country with the implementation of CPEC, role of innovative pedagogies towards developing workforce of future, innovation and responsible entrepreneurship, etc. I am certain that the valuable input received from our worthy speakers and researchers would have real significance subject to its communication and follow-up with the relevant authorities. Therefore, as the conference ends, I would urge the conference organizers to summarize the discussions and conclusions of all the sessions and compile them into a formal report with concrete recommendations for all the stakeholders, including higher education institutions, relevant government organizations, and the industry. I hope these recommendations would be translated into meaningful actions that can contribute positively towards economic development of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I consider this conference as a step towards the imperative input education institutions can provide for required changes both locally and globally. If this in any way enhances our individual and collective contributions to overcome challenges of developing economies, then the conference can truly be adjudged a success. Before concluding, I would like to thank our Honorable Federal Minister for Science and Technology for sparing his valuable time out of busy schedule to grace this occasion. Sir, your presence today is a source of great motivation and inspiration for all of us. It also shows the keenness of our government towards the academic and research pursuits of our higher education institutions. I would also thank our respected guests and all the delegates for their gracious presence and active participation. I would also like to commend the ECODE organizing team, and indeed all those who contributed to the success of this conference. My special thanks to our international speakers from Altinbaş University, Turkey, Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences, Netherlands, and from United States, Valparaiso University, Michigan University, Kent State University, University of Florida, Focusing Initiative International, and finally the head of mission, Portuguese Embassy, Islamabad. I do hope that besides the conference, our guests from outside were able to take some time to enjoy this fascinating city of Islamabad and its multicultural environment, and also hope that you take back good memories of Islamabad and the Bahria University back to your countries. I wish you best of luck and a safe return. I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
We have Honorable Muhammad Azim Swati with us, who is Federal Minister of Science and Technology. He has master degrees in economic and political science. He is also a gold medalist in LLB. He further pursued his education of LLM, Doctor of Jurisprudence, and Attorney at Law from United States. Honorable Minister is also a lifetime member of SAARC Chamber of Commerce. May I now request His Excellency, Mr. Muhammad Azim Khan Swati, to please share his wisdom with us. Thank you.
सबसे पहले मैं एक मैसेज देना चाहता हूँ उर्दू में, और वो इसलिए कि मेरे जो फॉरेन डिग्नेटरीज़ हैं वो न समझे कि मैं मैसेज जो है सरकास्टिक होकर देना चाहता हूँ। बहुत अरसा पहले, कोई 25-30 साल पहले, मैंने डॉक्टर जाकिर को इंडिया से यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के अंदर जो है वो मदऊ किया। ज़ाहिर है कि वो इस्लामिक रिसर्च पे बहुत बड़ी हस्ती हैं। जब वो मैं उनको टेलीफोन किया तो मैंने कहा कि जी आपको फर्स्ट क्लास का टिकट चाहिए, आपने 7 स्टार होटल में रहना है, किस किस्म की आपकी ज़रूरियात है। तो उन्होंने बड़े हंस के मुझे ये कहा कि मैं बिल्कुल ज़रूर आऊँगा, मैं इकानमी में सफ़र करूँगा। मोटल 6 जो है ये बिल्कुल छोटे लेवल का होटल है, मोटल है, पूरे यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के अंदर इसकी बहुत बड़ी चेन है। मैं मोटल 6 में रहूँगा, जो भी खाना आप घर से लाओगे मैं खाऊँगा, लेकिन मेरे लिए जो साउंड सिस्टम है वो यूनाइटेड स्टेट का सबसे अपग्रेडेड और बेहतरीन हो। तो मेरी ऑर्गेनाइज़र से ये दरख्वास्त है कि जब भी आप इस किस्म की कॉन्फ्रेंस करें तो सबसे ज़्यादा पैसे जो है आपने साउंड सिस्टम के ऊपर जो है वो लगाना है, क्योंकि उसकी वजह से जो ये सारी बात पहुँचती है। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। The Honorable Rector, Honorable foreign delegates, national delegates, academia, my daughters and my brothers, my sons, it is a great honor for me to be here and talk about the challenges for organization in the developing or emerging economies. I am glad that I am filling for Minister of Education, who happens to be in Lahore today because of his ailing mother. I am not going to be delivering an academic speech. As a businessman, entrepreneur, I am going to be sharing few examples and listening to the very articulate speeches that have been made by our honorable guests. I have come to conclusion that only few examples I'm going to be sharing with you. So in Pakistan, at the present, if you cannot change anything in the government, if administratively you cannot do anything, at least on your own innovation, in your thinking, in your concept, you should pave your way and get ready to play a pivotal role in the emerging economy of Pakistan. Now let me give you an example. A few days ago, in the cabinet meeting, I told our commerce minister that you have one of the biggest retail chains in the world. That is the utility stores. This is my expertise. That back in 1978, I started from a small Kia store in Texas, and I became one of the biggest entrepreneurs. There is no secret. The impediment in the business, when you face those impediments, you have to innovate and think as to how you can overcome and use those challenges and turn it into opportunities. The biggest retail chain in the world, that is called utility store, more than 5,000 stores are across Pakistan. And look at the consumer market. And at the present time, we are losing 7.9 billion a year. I can guarantee you that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have the time because my hands are full in science and technology. But I can bet you that within 1 week, if we can put the right people, administratively, if we can make the decision, we can bring a right governing board, then I can assure you that I can give utility store billions of rupees every day to Asad Umar, who is the finance minister of our country. There is no kidding. How? How? I'm giving you my example, which is quite applicable even today. The financial meltdown, the financial challenges that we are facing in Pakistan today, we can replicate that particular example of mine. I had a very small store in Houston, Texas, and I started thinking that from gasoline on commission, I only made $39 a month. Inside the store, the sale is so low. What should I do? Innovation. I'm doing the research in science and technology, but I told them that the 30-year research that we had in Pakistan, that is enough. I want a research that can be a reflection. It would have the impact, the practical impact on socio-economic condition of the people of Pakistan. When I met the Chinese Prime Minister back in 2009, and wherever I go in universities, I share with my children, which is the future of my nation. I was sharing with him few technologies that I wanted from China. And the Prime Minister back then in 2009, he smiled and said, "Minister, you can take all Chinese technology, you are our brother. And you will become the regional player. But give me whatever you have." For a second I thought, I don't have anything, that's the reason I'm here in Beijing. But the second thought was, yes, I have. And this was, he was rightly indicating, that you have the young generation which is comprising of 66% between the age of 15 to 50 to 48 years old. Give me that young generation and I will turn around China, I will become the superpower of the world. Unfortunately, our leadership have not thought. We were only thinking about our natural resources. We were only thinking about that we are the 5th largest river system and we still have the load shedding. We did not exploit the resources of Balochistan for our use. But the resources that we have, that China Prime Minister was talking about, it is right here in this hall. What have we done? Have we invested in our human resource to turn around the economy of Pakistan? The answer is no. Our priority have been what? Science and technology is only going to be getting 0.00005% of GDP. Hell with this. You cannot uplift the socio-economic condition of the country. Science technology is the only forum where if you would invest in higher education and quality education, in applied research, you are going to bring your economy up, because a recent survey in the United States, which is a very reliable, you invest $10,000 in business incubator that is going to be producing 45 jobs, as compared to infrastructure that we have been doing it, only 5 jobs. So somewhere, these are the challenges for each one of us. These are the challenge for you, the coming generation, that you have to think as to where, how you are going not only to meet these challenges, but you are going to be changing these challenges into opportunities. So the next week, Azam Swati is going to be sitting with Razak Dawood, telling him that you have the greatest potential of utility store, that you can earn billions of rupees in Pakistan under the same challenges and environment if you have right people. It has always been said today, it is not the location, it is the management. And I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that I am in a university that is offering the management courses. Unless you have the right management at all tiers of your administration, in the businesses or wherever you are, you cannot change your economy, you cannot change your country toward prosperity. Just imagine that. I'm giving you one example. So you start thinking. Without thinking, you cannot change your country. You cannot overcome on the challenges that we are facing today. I told Razak Dawood one thing, that you buy 200 tons of rice a day for these stores. Across from the street of utility store, there is a gentleman who is only buying 1 ton. How in the world, with that quantity and volume that you are buying, a small guy on the street can compete with you? Retail business, the secret of retail business is you always get your profit up front, not from the customer. And when you have the multinational companies, they are putting their displays in your utility stores, you are going to earn huge amount of money, as I have done with one Kia store, turning into more than 300 stores, bigger than Metro that you have in Islamabad. This is how you are going to think, innovate, see the challenges, but at the same time, let me confess, sir, that administratively, we have created impediments for all these businesses, It's unbelievable whenever I see it. The reason that I flourish in the United States, because the environment was conducive. Every Pakistani that leave Pakistan, go overseas, start even a small business, he does not have the challenges that we are seeing today over here. I told the Prime Minister that we must immediately open one window operation first in the Prime Minister house. So all the expatriates, the people who are coming from overseas, investing their hardcore money, they should not have 30 or 40 windows. They should not have this bureaucratic setup. These are the impediments that we have to remove immediately before any Pakistani would come and invest. For heaven's sake, financially we are in such a bad condition that yes, we are knocking the door of IMF. But sooner or later you will see that it is going to be replaced by the expatriate Pakistani, die-hard Pakistani who are coming and want to invest, provided we sitting in the government be a helping hand to them. Provide them that environment where on plain level field they can compete against each other. This is how the business and this is how the economy is going to be flourishing. Honorable Rector, I really appreciate that you invited me. I'm so delighted that I'm here and addressing the future of Pakistan, which is the true asset. In essence, this is the true asset that is all over in this hall. My special thanks to dignitaries who have come that far and who are sharing their experience. We are learning from them and also sharing what we have. They have given you so many, their part of the experience. It is us is to follow their way. It is a great saying that unless we learn from the people who have walked the same way, we are not going to be making any changes in ourselves. So we have to follow their path, see what Malaysia did, see what Singapore did. Look at the Iran, with all the international restrictions. See where are they? And then look in ourselves and see where the fault is. It is the structural changes that we have to make, administrative changes we have to make, management changes that we have to make. And with your help, the time is right. Leaderships want to bring that change, and God willing, we will make that change. Pakistan, Payandabad.